Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.
Welcome to all.
History is made of stories.
In this episode, we'll be talking about Hris roadmaps and how to develop one.
It is easy. All you have to do is replace your old Hris with the latest thing on the market, and bingo, you're on the cutting edge. Just listen to the software salespeople, do as you're told, and all will be well.
Unfortunately, in real life, things are never that easy. There's nothing simple about starting fresh. And you have to know where you're going. An Hris is a group of applications that need to be adapted and integrated. So, what is an Hris roadmap and how does it work? What's the story?
A roadmap serves the same purpose with an Hris as it does in any other field. It's the framework that guides development of the system for several years.
In other words, it's a reference document that outlines where we're going in terms of target architecture, system properties, and application types. It formalizes a framework for Hris projects and decisions. It includes a budget, calendars, expected return on investment, and more.
The roadmap defines the target applications 2 or 3 years out, and includes details of how to get there, while supporting the company's HR policy. It provides a comprehensive view of the IT system, its characteristics and plan changes designed to better meet HR needs.
It also provides a clear view of the major investment and actions required for implementation. As for example, the projects that will need to be carried out.
It's not enough to outline the end result though, even when paired with the steps required to get there. You also have to raise awareness about the process so that everyone who uses the roadmap understands the deeper meaning.
The starting point is obviously the HR policy and the role Hris plays in it. You can think of Hris as the armed wing of HR policy.
So to design an Hris roadmap, you start with HR policy, what you want to do, and what you expect the Hris to do.
And you translate the HR policy into key properties the Hris needs to have, to ensure that the invariable aspects of your policy are supported by the fundamental characteristics of the Hris.
If, for example, you want to grant subsidiaries a lot of autonomy, you'll want to steer clear of an Hris that is very top-down, centralizing and normalizing, which will necessarily reduce flexibility at the local level.
That's a good example. And when situations become more complicated, coherency of the Hris with respect to HR policy becomes even more crucial.
Once you've outlined the policy framework, you obviously need to assess your current Hris with an analysis of its strengths and weaknesses.
Does it meet your needs, while optimizing quality, cost, and deadlines?
In other words, you're making a list of what you would improve in an ideal world.
Next, you have to define the scope of what is actually possible in terms of improvement, because there's the ideal and then there's reality. So you outline several possible scenarios to assign priority and determine which one is most likely to best meet your needs.
The chosen scenario is the one which will get a detailed roadmap. In other words, the Hris strategy we decided on and how it leads to the architecture and target applications we feel are the best fit.
Next, you turn the roadmap into a concrete rollout strategy, complete with projects, budgets, calendars, difficulties to look out for, support, and more.
The roadmap will guide your decisions and actions for the chosen period, including project launches, calls for tender, etc. It will also be a reference document that will provide the framework when the unexpected arises.
To recap, an Hris roadmap guides adaptation and integration of your Hris for a given period. Its main goal is to outline target applications 2 or 3 years out, along with a plan of how to get there. Is that right?
Exactly right. Way to make a long story short.
Story RH, the podcast that makes a long story short.